Las Positas Creek is a natural stream that runs along Las Positas Road and eventually flows into the ocean at Arroyo Burro Beach. But if you were to have seen it 6 or more years ago, you probably wouldn't have known it was a creek at all.
The creek didn't really look like a creek anymore, and a lot of the golfers and users of this area really didn't realize that we were standing in a creek bed.
Soon after being established in January of 2001, the Creeks Division identified Upper Las Positas Creek as a prime target for restoration. Water quality was below standards, and the golf course was one of the few large open areas owned by the city. After years of design, construction of the massive project began in 2009.
So what we did in this project was we took a creek that had basically been manipulated as part of the golf course and was covered with turf, and we removed the turf and reinstalled a lot of native plants. We have thousands of native plants in there, and what those plants do is they uptake a lot of nutrients and other pollutants from the water as the water is moving through the creek channel, and so they're able to treat that water pollution naturally.
In addition to water cleansing plant life, the restoration project included the installation of large retention basins for catching stormwater. These ponds play an important role by naturally processing pollution.
So when we have rainstorms, we're able to capture approximately 4 million gallons of contaminated stormwater on site and allow that water to be treated through infiltration into the soil, where microbes in the soil will consume the pollutants, or through evaporation or through plant uptake.
Once the retention basins have naturally filtered the stormwater, the pond's unique design gives the city control over how quickly to release water back into the creek system.
So this project it has a lot of engineering designs and controls that are built into the project. And so this basin behind me actually has a valve on it on the downstream end that we're able to open and slowly release water. For example, if we were to have a large storm forecasted, we could open up the valve today and let it slowly drain out into Las Positas Creek, and then have a large volume of storage available for an incoming rain. Most of the rains that we get in Santa Barbara are on the order of 2 inches or less per storm event. And so this basin will actually fill up and hold a 2-inch rain.
The ability to capture all of the water from small storms and hold it in one location allows the Creeks Division to mitigate problems like erosion and downstream flooding. At the same time, the water-filled retention basins provide other benefits.
That creates habitat. Instead of just a dry creek bed, which you would have now, it's been about a week or so since the last rain. Now we have this stormwater that's sitting here, and it's valuable habitat in an otherwise dry Mediterranean climate.
The retention ponds, which provide a home for various species of ducks and plant life, aren't the only habitat created by the restoration project. Where non-native grass once spread for acres, diverse wildlife now thrives in Upper Las Positas.
But we also have a whole different type of wetland here in the form of small vernal marshes, which are types of wetlands that don't have as much open water.
These small marshes span the entire project site, hosting plants that provide seeds, roots, and berries for native wildlife. Between the retention ponds and marshes, the restoration project created 2 acres of increasingly rare wetland habitat. But as large as it is, the Creeks Division had to spend very little to make the $2.1 million project happen.
The Creeks Division staff is always looking for grant opportunities to leverage the city's Measure B dollars with state, federal, and private foundation grant monies to construct our capital improvement projects. And in this case, the city was able to obtain a grant that covered almost the entire cost of construction of the project. So the Creeks Division paid for the design of the project, but when it came time for construction, we were able to receive grant funds to cover the cost.
In 5 years since the project's completion, new habitat continues to grow, and water quality testing demonstrates that the restoration is a success.
The water that flows off of the site actually is non-toxic, and so it's better for the areas downstream, such as the Arroyo Burro estuary. The amount of nutrients is decreased because of the amount of native plant growth, and so instead of those nutrients going downstream and causing problems such as algae blooms, like you'll see occasionally in the estuary, it's happening less and less because of this project.
So where that water before was moving through and picking up pollutants on its way down to Arroyo Burro Beach, now we capture all of that water, and all of the water is treated. So we're capturing virtually 100% of the pollution that was previously moving through the site.